celebrates its centenary on January 1, 2014, following the unification of the North and South in 1914. The message from the country's leadership on this day is that all Nigerians align their political ideologies and conduct solely to nobler passions that will unite them wherever they may be.
To my fellow citizens, I urge you all to continue to be good ambassadors of Nigeria in the diaspora and work closely with the Gambian authority to strengthen our bilateral relations. I further urge you to engage in legitimate businesses at all times.
A nation of talented people endowed with resources and potentials, their collective national journey has witnessed great progress despite challenges, and as they celebrate and reflect on the past with hopes, determination, and courage, the future solid looks bright for Africa's most populous nation. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia after this break. Welcome back. In America, the government shutdown has forced President Barack Obama to cancel plans to travel to the Philippines and Malaysia. The U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry would be going instead. It's still unclear if President Obama would attend the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Indonesia later this week or remain in Washington to deal with the budget crisis. Remember, a group of House Republicans are trying to block the health care law. Now, Democrats say they are holding the nation hostage to their drive to derail the Affordable Care Act, also called Obamacare. But President Obama has acknowledged in a tweet that major components of the health care law would be put to effect as scheduled on Thursday. Now, even some high-profile Republicans concede that efforts to undo Obamacare will fail. Let's get the latest state of play from Rihanna Akela.
The motion to table is agreed to.
With nearly 800,000 federal employees off their jobs for a second day, President Obama is blaming Tea Party Republicans for shutting down the government over their objections to Obamacare.
They demanded ransom just for doing their job.
He's urging Congress to act.
Allow the public servants who have been sent home to return to work.
Tuesday night, House Republicans tried to fund the government piecemeal, starting with veterans, national parks, and the city of Washington, D.C.
We're ready to talk, and they have rejected that, and we have to send that back every day.
Their first attempt failed, most Democrats voting no.
This is a waste of time. It's not going anyplace.
What's worse, we're about to hit the debt ceiling. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew again warned Congress that if it doesn't raise the U.S.'s ability to pay its debts, it will default October 17th. GOP leaders blame Democrats for refusing to sit down and negotiate.
My goodness, they won't even sit down and have a discussion.
President Obama said his signature program isn't up for discussion.
The Affordable Care Act is still open for business, and it is here to stay.
Frustrated taxpayers made sure their voices were heard too.
I'm tired of a Congress that can't govern this country. You guys are worthless.
Now, in the meantime, nearly 1 million federal workers are being forced to stay at home without pay. Nature parks, monuments are shuttered, and as Chris Lawrence finds out, many Americans are foaming.
Wheelchair-bound veterans came just to see the World War II memorial, only to be greeted by barricades.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm furious.
Members of Congress seem surprised. But when they vote to shut down the federal government, monuments do too.
If I can walk around here, why can't I walk down there? It makes no sense.
That's exactly what some are saying about negotiations on Capitol Hill.
I feel like our government is wasting our taxpayer money.
Onlookers applauded as the veterans broke past the barricade.
Well, they kill you with pride and make the pride that you are part of it.
lawmakers who came to greet the vets also laid blame for those barricades.
This is a spiteful decision that was ordered from the White House.
The politicians made no mention of their own role.
We're trying to protect the lives and the health care of these wonderful veterans who did for us.
But as they postured within a mile of the memorial, thousands of federal workers were being furloughed.
Everyone is angry. I mean, angry.
Sent home without pay, they're scared for themselves and their co-workers. Angry, worried, and incredibly frustrated.
Because I don't see why we the people should really suffer because of this disagreement.
Despite it all, the shutdown won't stop one woman's 93-year-old father, who will get to see the memorial that honors him.
We're just glad to get on the plane this morning. And you're still going to enjoy this day? Oh yeah, it's going to be great.
And the thing is, flights and hotels are already booked for a dozen more veterans trips during the next week. Park officials say they are looking for guidance on how to handle those. Translation, we can't believe the folks in charge left us here to block elderly veterans from entering an open concrete space. Chris Lawrence, CNN, Washington.
Iran's president is in the middle of what some have called a charm offensive with the West. Many people in Tehran say that they feel their country is misunderstood, but Reza Sayah asked them to set the record straight.
Hardline leadership, decades of isolation, and its conflict with the West, Iran and its people remain a mystery to much of the world. Iranians complain the only image of Iran the outside world often sees is the one on TV news and Hollywood movies. An image that depicts Iran as a rogue, dangerous nation with a backward population. The best way to get to know Iranians is to speak with them directly. So we did. We heard one thing over and over again. We are not what you see on TV.
I know they are calling us terrorism, but you show me here which one of us is terrorism.
These are all lies, says bread maker Hossein Mohammadi. The people of Iran are the best in the world.
It's really sad for me because here in Bazaar, I can see lots of tourists that they came in my country and they were just surprised. You know how kind people are here. We love them. If they love us also, we love them more than them.
I would like you make some interview with some tourists that they have been here.
Interviewing tourists seemed like a good idea. After all, it's a little harder to accuse tourists of bias and favoritism towards Iran. Finding tourists was surprisingly easy. Stefan, Romana, and their dog Funny are hitchhiking through Iran.
Ziba, ziba, ziba.
It means beautiful in Farsi.
It means beautiful in Farsi, and especially the people, because, well, they're so hospitable, they're really nice.
Ryan, Solma, and their little girl Julia are here from the Netherlands. This is a tour group from Finland. They too said their perception of Iran didn't match reality.
Because what you see on television is so totally different than what it really is.
When you told your friends, your family, you're going to Iran, what did they say?
They were surprised. They said, you didn't find any other destination. My daughter-in-law said to me, are you out of your mind? What we get in the TV news is not true. It's the other side, and we see here very friendly people, lot of history, good food, very nice country indeed. It's not so frightening as I thought. Absolutely lovely.
Ramin Atouri says his T-shirt sums up what Iranians are all about. Everything is solved through friendship, says Atouri. War, sanctions, and conflict never solve anything. Reza Sayah, CNN, Tehran.
The Italian Prime Minister Enrico Letta has won a vote of confidence ensuring the survival of the center-left coalition. Letta formed a government only 5 months ago with great difficulty after an indecisive election result. Last Friday, the government faced a crisis after former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi threatened to pull out 5 of his ministers there. Faced with a revolt within his own party, Berlusconi did a sudden U-turn, saying he supports the government after all. We have more in this report.
Has voted on the future of the current government. But Prime Minister Enrico Letta could celebrate before the results came in, after Silvio Berlusconi pledged his support. He said his People of Freedom Party would vote in favor of the ruling coalition. That's a complete U-turn from his previous stance.